a passion for transforming human potential at scale. They came to the culture conversation with a wide range of experiences with Fortune 500 companies, startups, universities, nonprofits, and more. They co-founded Vega Factor, which focuses on engineering high-performing cultures. Please join me in giving them a very warm welcome.
All right, good afternoon. Thank you for having us. In case you couldn't tell, I'm Lindsay, and
I'm Neil.
Can we kick us off?
Our journey on this topic, how do we build a high-performing culture? It started a while ago. It started about 20 years ago when, of all things, I was a software developer. I was working at this mega institution, gigantic company. This company was so big that there was another Neil Doshi at this company, to give you a sense of scale. I'd get his pay stubs every now and then. He got paid a lot more than I did. And this was around the mid-90s. The internet was starting to come online. This company thought this was a great opportunity to do something innovative and disruptive. So it went all in. There was a lot of money, a lot of resource put into digitally innovating, being disruptive. In the course of a couple of years, we spent about $1 billion. And if I was being honest about the impact of our work after those 2 years, I think I could say safely that we produced pretty much nothing. That's impressive. That is not easy to do. Now, at the time, we thought we were doing all the right things when it came to innovation, disruption, development. And the chairman of this institution asked me at the time to help explain what happened, what went wrong. It was a serious question, so I spent a good 6 months studying that question. Was it our tools? Was it our ideas? Was it our people? Was it our processes? And what I ultimately concluded was that there was something wrong with our culture. I played this back to him. To his credit, he said, "I think you're right. I think there's something wrong with our culture. I don't know what to do about it." I didn't know what to do about it either. The best we can do at the time was copy somebody else. The company that you copied back then was GE. So we tried to copy GE's culture, and it didn't work. If anything, you look at this institution today, it's a bit of a shadow of what it once was. I left, frustrated, started my own company. I thought, having studied culture, with a blank sheet of paper, I should be able to build a great culture. If I were to describe the culture I built with one word, it would be meh. It was just okay. It wasn't great, it wasn't legendary, it wasn't toxic. It was just okay. And so now the engineer in me was totally peaked. Because we have this thing that we call culture. Almost every executive would say it is the number one or number two most important thing to our organization. And almost every executive would also say, I have no idea how to build one. So Lindsay and I set out to solve that problem once and for all. How do we build a high-performing culture?
But before we answer this question of what creates a high-performing culture, we have to start with what creates a high-performing individual. So I'm going to ask if any of you have children, 18 months old or older. Any children? All right, who can describe to me what an 18-month-old is like? Somebody raise their hand. Who can describe a toddler? Can they walk? Can they talk? I'm going to, yep.
Go, go, go all the time. Walk, run. Sometimes they can talk, sometimes they can't. Into everything.
Into everything? Do they follow all of your directions all the time?
They follow none of your directions.
Follow none of your directions. So a group of researchers studied toddlers to think about could they increase a certain type of performance in those toddlers. This type of performance was citizenship, how much you help other people. Now think about citizenship as something you highly value in most organizations. You want somebody that will help out a neighbor who needs it. You want somebody who's going to think about the well-being of the team, not just about themselves. So these toddlers were a great experiment because they had not been highly influenced by corporate culture yet. So they set up an experiment. It was in a room about from me to the podium. And in the middle of the room was a toddler on the floor playing with a toy. This toy lit up, it played music, it was extremely engaging. Over here on this side, behind a table, was a researcher. The research assistant was a complete stranger to the toddler. They had not met, and the research assistant was playing with some papers, folding it, when all of a sudden she drops her paper or something over the edge of the table, and wanted to see if the toddler would leave the highly engaging toy and come and help this stranger on the other side of the room. So I'm going to take a vote. How many of you think more than 50% of these toddlers help? How many think less than 50% help? All right, more child haters than child lovers.